8 enemy aircraft, 1 F-22 Raptor, 1 pilot who wasn't supposed to be there. Major Rebecca Phoenix Kane was the first woman ever to fly the world's most advanced fighter jet in combat. When the impossible mission came in, everyone expected her to fail. Instead, she rewrote aviation history in 47 minutes. Langley Air Force Base, Virginia, home of the F-22 Raptor, the most advanced air superiority fighter ever built. For Major Rebecca Kane, this wasn't just another assignment. This was the mountain she'd been climbing her entire military career. Rebecca had been flying fighters for 8 years. F-16s, F-15 Strike Eagles, 2 combat deployments, flawless record. But the F-22 program had never had a female pilot. It's not about capability, Colonel James Harrison explained during her evaluation. It's about integration challenges. The F-22 is our most classified platform. Rebecca had heard this before. Careful language dancing around the real issue. The $150 million stealth fighter represented the pinnacle of American air power, and some believe such power should remain in exclusively male hands. Sir, I've held top-secret clearances for 6 years. What integration challenges specifically? Harrison shifted uncomfortably. The F-22 program is different. It's a brotherhood developed over 15 years. Brotherhood, the invisible wall that followed Rebecca through every stage of her career. I believe I can contribute to that culture rather than disrupt it. Kane, this decision goes to the Pentagon. Adding a female pilot, it's complicated. Rebecca left knowing complicated meant not happening. But she also left with burning determination to prove the world's most advanced fighter was exactly where she belonged. The breakthrough came from General Patricia Williams, the first female 4-star pilot. During a chance Pentagon encounter, she asked Rebecca directly, "Why aren't you flying Raptors?" "Ma'am, I've applied multiple times. The feedback has been mixed." General Williams studied her. The F-22 program will never volunteer to integrate. They've built a culture that works for them. But cultures evolve when forced to evolve. "Ma'am, I'm recommending you for the next training class." Not requesting, recommending, with my full endorsement and the weight of my rank. Rebecca's heart raced. Won't that create resentment? Kane, there will be resentment regardless. The question is whether you're tough enough to fly through it and skilled enough to prove it wrong. Rebecca's first day at Langley was a masterclass in subtle hostility. Wrong locker location, missing from schedules, forgotten briefings. Small things, easily explained as oversights, but Rebecca recognized them as tests. She arrived earlier, stayed later, performed every task with quiet excellence. When excluded, she politely asked to be included. When overlooked, she took notes standing in the back. Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Viper Stone was her primary instructor, a 15-year F-22 veteran with unmatched combat hours. "Kane, forget everything about flying fighters," Stone said after her first simulator session. "The Raptor doesn't behave like an F-16. It's fundamentally different, a systems aircraft that happens to have a pilot." Rebecca's first sim was humbling. The F-22's advanced systems overwhelmed her despite years of experience. Most pilots need 60 to 80 hours in sim before their first flight. Accept that this aircraft is smarter than you. Your job isn't to outsmart it, it's to work with it. Rebecca's first actual F-22 flight was a revelation. The Raptor didn't just fly. It commanded the sky. Twin engine producing 70,000 pounds of thrust, supersonic without afterburners, nearly invisible to radar. "Phoenix 01, take us to 30,000, Stone radioed, using her new call sign for the first time. During air-to-air exercises, Rebecca demonstrated intuitive understanding that typically took months to develop. She used stealth and super cruise to position advantageously, then employed radar and weapons with surgical precision. Outstanding! Stone radioed after Rebecca defeated 3 simulated enemies. "Where did that come from?" "It just feels right, sir. Like the aircraft wants to do these things." After landing, Stone was quiet during debrief. "Kane, in 15 years flying the F-22, I've seen exactly 3 pilots demonstrate natural ability like that. You're not just learning, You're beginning to master it. Not everyone was impressed. Lieutenant Colonel Dale Hammer Thompson led the resistance, representing the old guard who built their identity around exclusive brotherhood. It's not about gender, Thompson insisted. It's about maintaining standards. We can't make exceptions just to make history. What exceptions? Asked Major Rivera. Kane's scores are higher than anyone in our class. That's my point. It's too convenient. Nobody masters the F-22 that quickly without help. The tension peaked during a 2 versus 4 training exercise. Thompson paired with Rebecca, but planned to sideline her. Phoenix, stay high and maintain overwatch, Thompson ordered. I'll handle the merge. Rebecca found herself in an impossible position. Follow orders and prove she was just along for the ride, or disobey and risk her future. Watching 4 enemy aircraft adapt to Thompson's predictable strategy, Rebecca made her choice. Hammer, they're setting up a bracket. If we don't separate, they'll corner us. Phoenix, maintain overwatch. That's an order. Copy. Maintaining overwatch from flanking position. Rebecca broke away. Used stealth to disappear, then systematically eliminated 3 aircraft before they knew she was there. Thompson finished the 4th. The flight back was conducted in complete silence. The debrief was explosive. Thompson sat across from Rebecca, fury barely controlled. Phoenix, walk me through your decision to break formation, Stone began. Sir, Lieutenant Colonel Thompson ordered overwatch. I interpreted that as maintaining situational awareness from the best position. Bullshit, Thompson exploded. You directly disobeyed orders. I followed the spirit while adapting to circumstances. Stone studied the radar replay. Hammer, your defensive strategy was sound, but you failed to adapt when the situation changed. Phoenix recognized the shift and took appropriate action. Thompson's face darkened. Are you suggesting a trainee made better decisions than a 12-year veteran? I'm suggesting good pilots adapt regardless of experience level. Thompson stood abruptly. We're compromising standards to accommodate someone who doesn't belong here. Rebecca finally spoke. Lieutenant Colonel, if a male pilot made the same decision with the same results, would you question the decision or praise the adaptability? Thompson stared, then looked at Stone. Sir, I request Phoenix be removed for failure to follow orders. Request denied. Phoenix demonstrated exactly the tactical thinking this program exists to develop. Over following months, Rebecca's performance was exceptional. Top scores, ahead of schedule, aircraft mastery that impressed critics. During an advanced exercise, she was assigned mission commander for 8 F-22s, 4 F-15E Strike Eagles, and support aircraft. Phoenix, you have tactical command, Stone announced. Plan the ingress, coordinate timing, execute the strike. Rebecca's mission planning was flawless. Complete success, no losses, minimal enemy exposure. Her leadership was calm, decisive, inspiring. After landing, Thompson approached her. Kane, that was exceptional planning and execution. Rebecca was surprised. Thank you, sir. I owe you an apology. I've been fighting women in this program. So long I lost sight of what matters. You've proven you're here because you're a hell of a pilot. He extended his hand. Welcome to the family. 6 months after graduation, Rebecca deployed to Al Daffer Air Base as the first female F-22 combat pilot. Initial months were routine patrols, escorts, training. That changed on a Tuesday morning in October. Intelligence reported hostile forces planning to attack a UN humanitarian convoy carrying medical supplies to refugee camps. 8 enemy aircraft, older fighters and attack planes, prepare to intercept. Phoenix, your primary mission commander, Colonel Sarah Mitchell announced. 4 ship of Raptor scrambling, but you'll be first on station. Protect that convoy at all costs. Rebecca felt her heart rate spike. First real combat. Flying alone against superior numbers. Ma'am, rules of engagement? Weapons free once hostile intent confirmed. Phoenix, they're carrying children's medicine, food for families. Do not let those aircraft reach the convoy. How long until backup? Mitchell checked her watch. You'll be alone approximately 45 minutes. Can you handle 8 hostiles? Every person turned to look at Rebecca. This moment would define not just her career, but women's future in F-22 combat operations. Yes, ma'am, I can handle it. Rebecca's F-22 lifted off at 0347 hours into pre-dawn darkness. Enemy aircraft were airborne, positioning for attack. Flying toward engagement, Rebecca ran scenarios. 8 against 1, impossible for conventional fighters, but the F-22 wasn't conventional. Stealth meant surprise. Advanced radar tracked multiple targets. Weapons engaged multiple aircraft rapidly. Phoenix, this is Overwatch. 8 bogies bearing 090. Angels 15, heading toward convoy. Time to intercept, 12 minutes. Rebecca climbed above enemy formation. Armed weapons, activated radar. 8 hostile contacts appeared, heading directly toward humanitarian convoy. Complete surprise was Rebecca's first advantage. Enemy aircraft had no idea an F-22 stalked from above. Using stealth, Rebecca positioned behind the formation. Radar painted all 8 simultaneously. Phoenix, Fox 3, she called, launching at the first target. The missile hit in seconds. The pilot never knew what happened. Phoenix, Fox 3, second aircraft eliminated. Within 30 seconds, 2 fighters destroyed without the remaining 6 knowing they were under attack. Surprise gone. Surviving pilots saw wingmen disappear and took evasive action. Rebecca anticipated this, using speed advantage to reposition for another attack. Third and fourth kills came as enemies tried regrouping. Long-range engagement. Superior radar and missiles eliminated threats before they could coordinate. Phoenix, for bandits down. For remaining, all evading. Remaining pilots now knew they faced something beyond their capabilities. 2 attempted escape, but Rebecca's speed made it impossible. Fifth kill, diving aircraft at low altitude. Rebecca followed down. Superior performance, maintaining pursuit despite desperate maneuvering. Sixth kill, long-range missile as aircraft circled toward convoy. 2 remained, making critical decision. Race toward convoy at low altitude, hoping to reach target before intercept. Last 2 aircraft flew at treetop level, using terrain masking, racing toward convoy at maximum speed. Abandoned air combat for desperate target run. Rebecca faced tactical dilemma. Pursue at low altitude, negating F-22 advantages, or intercept near convoy, risking humanitarian mission. She chose a third option, demonstrating why she became first woman qualified for F-22 combat. Using advanced flight systems, Rebecca calculated intercept course, putting her between enemies and convoy with minimal time. Climbed high, used super cruise for supersonic speed without afterburners, dove toward intercept. Required split-second timing and absolute precision. Overwatch, Phoenix. Going vertical for terminal engagement. Phoenix. Convoy is 2 minutes from hostile intercept. Rebecca's F-22 dove through 30,000 feet, building speed. Radar locked remaining aircraft racing across desert. At 15,000 feet, 7th missile fired. At 10,000 feet, 8th and final shot launched. Both missiles found targets within seconds. Last enemy aircraft disintegrated in flame balls, briefly lighting pre-dawn sky. Overwatch, Phoenix. 8 bandits down. Convoy is clear. Engagement lasted exactly 47 minutes. 8 enemy aircraft eliminated by single F-22 pilot who wasn't supposed to be there. News spread through military channels within hours. 8-to-1 kill ratio in actual combat was virtually unheard of, especially for a first operational deployment. But numbers told only part of the story. Rebecca hadn't just shot down aircraft. She protected humanitarian mission, carrying life-saving supplies to refugee camps. Her actions prevented terrorist attack on civilians and ensured medical aid reached desperate children. When Rebecca landed at Al Dafra, entire flight line crew waited. Pilots, maintainers, support personnel lined taxiway, cheering as her F-22 rolled to stop. Colonel Mitchell reached her first. Phoenix, how copy? Rebecca climbed down, still processing what happened. 8 confirmed kills, ma'am. Convoy is safe. Outstanding. Rebecca, what you just did will change everything. General Williams called personally. Major Kane, when I recommended you for F-22 program, I knew you were exceptional. But yesterday exceeded even my highest expectations. Thank you, ma'am. I was just doing my job. No, Rebecca, you were making history and saving lives. Rebecca's victory fundamentally changed conversation about women in military aviation. The F-22 program, which resisted female integration for 15 years, suddenly had undeniable proof women could excel beyond expectations. Within 6 months, Air Force announced F-22 program would actively recruit qualified female pilots. Cultural barriers that seemed insurmountable crumbled before demonstrated excellence. Thompson was among first recommending female pilots. If you can fly like Phoenix, I don't care what gender you are. Rebecca's story inspired new generations. Female pilot training applications increased 300% the following year. Flying schools reported unprecedented interest from women who'd never considered military aviation. But the most meaningful recognition came from unexpected source. Thank you letters from refugee families whose children received medicine because a humanitarian convoy reached safely. One letter, written in broken English by a mother whose daughter's life was saved, simply said, "Thank you to the angel who protected our hope." Rebecca kept that letter in her flight suit pocket during every mission afterward. 5 years later, Colonel Rebecca Phoenix Kane stood before new F-22 pilot candidates, half of them women, at Langley Air Force Base. 5 years ago, people said women didn't belong in the F-22 program, she began. They said we lacked the physical strength, the mental toughness, the warrior spirit necessary to fly the world's most advanced fighter. She gestured toward the flight line where F-22s prepared for training missions. They were wrong about one thing. It's not about being a warrior. It's about being a guardian. It's about standing between the innocent and those who would harm them, regardless of the odds. Her eyes found the eager faces before her. Some of you will face people who say you don't belong. They'll question your abilities, your motivations, your right to be here. When that happens, remember this. The sky doesn't care about your gender. The sky only cares about one thing. Can you fly? She smiled. And if you're here, the answer is yes. Now let's go prove it. As the new pilots dispersed their aircraft, Rebecca looked up at the contrails crossing the blue sky above Langley. Somewhere up there, the next generation of Guardians was learning to fly. And somewhere in a refugee camp halfway around the world, children were growing up healthy because one pilot refused to accept that some skies were off limits. The Phoenix had risen, and she had lit the way for others to follow. Because sometimes, change in the world is as simple as refusing to accept the limits others place on your dreams. And sometimes, all it takes is 47 minutes to prove that those limits were never real at all.